And we're live from the Illinois State Fair. I'm Greg Bishop. It is Springfield's Morning News. Thanks for hanging out, and you can find us across the North American Midway right next to the Reich Pavilion, where we're broadcasting and now taking your phone calls on Senior and Scout Day at 217-629-7970. That's the phone number. You can chime in on what lessons you learned as a scout. Again, 217-629-7970. Want to hear from you. Scouting, I did Cub Scouts for a few months when I was a little tyke. And we did the racing with the what do they call those? The Matchbox cars, so that was a fun event as a Cub Scout, but I didn't do Boy Scouts per se. We did a non-denominational Christian church organization called Royal Rangers, which was, I guess, the equivalent of Boy Scouts back in the day. But it was wonderful and extremely important lessons learned. And I want to hear from you. With it being Scout Day here at the Illinois State Fair this Monday, what kind of lessons did you learn as a scout? And not just Boy Scouts, but even Girl Scouts, scouting in general. One thing I was a little jealous of as a kid, had a really close family friend who went through the entire scouting program and got an Eagle Scout badge when he turned 17, and that was a huge accomplishment with all of the different things that they had to learn as a scout. But I want to hear from you. What were some of the lessons you learned as a scout? The instrumental things that you carry through to today. 217-629-7970. That's the phone number here. Live from the Illinois State Fair, I'm Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and Talk. And I want to hear from you. All right, so get those phone calls lined up. What lessons did you learn in scouting? Now, for me, it wasn't just the Matchbox cars or whatever they call them now, the Pinewood Derby, another name for it. When I was in Royal Rangers, again, the equivalent of Boy Scouts, we learned how to make fires and how to start it from scratch using kindling and building the fire just right and being able to use some kind of fire starting mechanisms, either through flint or even just if you had matches in one of those dry packs. You could use that, but that was extremely important. I still use that today in building fires at home, or if we go out camping and just want to get a fire going. But we also learned how to pitch a tent. And I think one of the more instrumental things I learned about camping was those who make the food get first dibs. That was kind of an unwritten rule of sorts. When we were scouts that young, is if you're making the food, you get first dibs. You get to determine which you're going to enjoy. But what about you? What were some of the instrumental things you learned in scouting? Another thing that I learned as a scout was how to hand a knife to somebody. And I still do that today. It was an interesting lesson, but one that you had. Ultimately, how you hand the knife to somebody is you hold the blade with the sharp end towards your palm, and you hand it to somebody else with them grabbing the handle. And I still do that today. If Megan and I are in the kitchen cooking and she needs a knife, I'll hand it to her in that fashion. I still carry that to this day. I didn't follow through with the Royal Rangers as long as I probably could have, but other things I learned was how to shoot a .22 rifle. We did that at one of our summer camps, and it was just a fantastic lesson to learn at being 10, 11 years old or so. But what about you? What are some of the lessons that you still carry through to today? 217-629-7970 as we broadcast live from the Illinois State Fair. Little overcast skies here after just an incredible weekend, but let's go ahead and get to your phone calls. 217-629-7970. Let's go ahead and punch that first call up. Good morning. You are on WMAY. What lessons did you learn in scouting?
I learned that I am not a tent camper.
All right, I'm sure there's a story with this, so go ahead and tell us about it.
Okay, so when I was in Girl Scouts, the first year I went camping, they put all of the tent, our groups into individual units, and my whole troop was in one unit, and then me and another girl were put in a separate unit, and then the other girl didn't show up, so I was basically by myself, and I got like super homesick and cried all week. I was like 10, and then it was just a really horrible experience in that sort. But then the next year, we went to a local one, and I was with all my troop and everything, but I kept tripping over tip ropes and doing all that stuff and ended up going to the hospital with a sprained wrist.
No, gosh. So, yeah, that's not a good experience to have while you're out camping and enjoying the wilderness. You don't want to have to end up in a hospital because of tent cords or whatever the case may be.
Yeah,
so have you...
I've been tent camping as an adult. I do better now, but as a kid, I was like, no, tent camping is horrible. All I do is get hurt or emotionally scarred.
No. Well, that's no fun. I'm sorry you had that experience, and hopefully it works out better for you. I appreciate the call. What lessons did you learn camping? 217-629-7970. Let's get to that next call. Good morning. You're on WMAY.
Hi.
Go ahead. You're on the air.
All righty. I learned to listen.
Okay.
It may be hard for you to believe, but generally speaking, I'm generally speaking.
Oh, where's my bell? I need my bell.
Why do you need your bell?
Just because
I know where you are.
Yeah. Well, because, look, I know you, and you do have the ability to talk, and your listening skills could use some help.
Oh, it was a good line. I get it. But I learned I'm not the only one capable of that.
Right on. So
and I learned to steal good lines, number one. Number two, I learned the best time for a meeting is on Tuesday morning, right after the first break.
So
if you ever need to... Your turn.
Well, I was just going to say, like, what do you mean, like, out camping? You learned that
Well, yeah, because people were, when it came to camping, people were more acute, more aware in the middle of the morning.
Aha, I see. I got you. So it wasn't the early morning parts where, everybody's groggy, they didn't get a good night's sleep, and they're trying to figure out where their socks are or how they can wash their face or whatever the case may be. After they get all that done, then it's a good time to actually have some conversations.
And after they've had a little breakfast.
Right, of course, absolutely.
Yeah. You don't want them peckish.
Yeah, good lessons to learn, no question about it. Appreciate that, Lokia, and getting your calls about what you learned in scouting. Let's get to that next call here live from the Illinois State Fair. Good morning, you're on WMAY. What lessons did you learn as a scout?
Good morning, Greg. I'm glad you're enjoying the State Fair and having a good time, and I loved your videos, you and Megan.
It's just, it was an incredible Saturday. When we woke up, we saw the blue sky, and we're like, okay, let's spend 6 hours at the fair, walking around, taking in the food, taking in the sights, and the Sky Glide was just, it was glorious. Fantastic time.
Yes. It's a great video. Man, it has been a long time since I was Girl Scouts, like 1964. It's just, the one thing I remember making and never heard of was s'moras. That was the first time I had s'moras, the graham crackers, the Hershey chocolate, and the marshmallow over the campfire.
You call them s'mores? I thought they were just s'mores.
S'mores, yeah, right.
Okay. All right.
Like s'moras.
We because you always want some more whenever you're making those. Megan and I, we went camping over, what was that, Labor Day? We stayed in a cabin. We didn't actually camp, but we did buy I guess you could call them Supreme s'mores because we had the huge marshmallows, the quality graham crackers, and instead of just the chocolate bar, we've got Heath bar. All right, so we broke off Heath bar and made that as part of the s'more, and I tell you, it kicked it up a notch.
Well, it was the first time I ever experienced one, and definitely got a sugar high, but that was one of the things I learned how to do in Girl Scouts.
Well, did you learn how to get the marshmallow stickiness off your fingers? Because that's something else that to this day I still don't quite know what to do other than just
I don't
lick your
think
fingers.
that's going to happen. not going to happen. You just got to enjoy it anyway.
That's right. Fantastic. Good stuff. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And definitely we'll see you out here at the Illinois State Fair. It is Springfield's Morning News. I'm Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY. Springfield's News and Talk.